balls and level-headed?
Well, I think all of our players. I mean, it's football. You know, you have your highs and lows. I mean, you just got to have to keep a neutral mindset and just worry about improving. I mean, take it for what it is, and don't look at something catastrophically, and see if we can get better and move on.
And one on Cameron Batson too. What have you seen from him as he develops? I know he made a couple of big plays for you on Sunday.
Yeah, Cam's a guy. You know, he kind of defines this program. I mean, he scraps. He goes out there every day and works. He's been productive in multiple roles for us. You know, he's a guy you love to have around because he can do a lot of things, and he's got a diverse background from what he did in high school and college and what we've asked him to do as he's gotten into his third year here. So he's just another guy who keeps working.
Paul?
Hey, Art. What's become of Khalif Raymond?
Khalif still has a big role, and a lot of times you call things for certain guys, and the defense may dictate where the ball goes in that respect. But Khalif's still got a role. He plays in multiple packages for us, and I feel confident that the ball find him again, and he'll be productive.
Buck?
Morning, Arthur.
Morning.
With Darrington now available to you guys, and obviously a little bit of a crowd at the running back position right now, we talked to Mike yesterday about him needing to find a role on special teams to help justify a game day active spot. But from your position, how do you kind of evaluate him as he tries to work his way back in?
Like a lot of guys, you got to see him practice, and obviously ultimately Braves and John make that call on who's up. But guys out there, you work with him in practice and see how he progresses, and so that's kind of where we're at. Just evaluate what he can do out there for us on a day-to-day basis.
Terry?
Arthur, I know you probably don't get too caught up in numbers, but you guys have a chance to accomplish something that's pretty rare. What would it mean to you to have 2,000-yard receivers and Derek get 1,500 yards rushing?
Well, the whole goal is just to win. And we got to look at this week to week. It's a huge game for us. I mean, Jacksonville's a really aggressive, fast defense, and it's a heck of a challenge. So, I mean, our focus is just, can we get better as an offense and help us win? That's all that matters. And then those things are nice, when you get back, you look back maybe at a season, but while we're in this, you start focusing on that thing, we're focusing on the wrong goals here. And it really is as simple as that.
But if you were able to get that, would that kind of speak to how well the offense is working?
I don't look at it like that. I mean, those are those guys. Credit to those guys out there on the field and those players. They accomplish that.
Dre?
Good morning, Arthur. Similar to that end, in terms of Derek, I mean, he's less than 200 from what he had last year on the ground. Do you think that eclipsing that or getting in that range could be a pivotal part to, obviously, as a team, you want to win, as you said, and clinching an AFC title? Do you think him eclipsing those numbers could be paramount for doing that and reaching that feat?
Well, Derek's success, it's kind of how we go offensively. If he's got big rushing numbers, we've usually had a pretty good day. So that kind of goes hand in hand. But again, our focus is just what could we do this week to beat the Jaguars. You start focusing on what's down the road or any kind of statistics, whatever. Again, it just takes your mind to the wrong place. And all it is today, how do we get better today? Putting in our third down installation, get out to practice. And if you start putting your mind down there, you're focusing on the wrong stuff. And you really have to do a good job to have tunnel vision. And I know that sounds cliche, but that's the truth. But obviously, if Derek's rushing the ball well, as a team we're rushing the ball well, we're probably having a pretty good day.
Teresa?
Art, to follow that up, that focus and the attention to detail and work, is that something that Derek just seems to embody? I mean, he's almost out there at every single practice. We see him between drills working. How much does that help epitomize what, the focus is on offense?
It helps. I mean, obviously different guys at different points of their career, they may be dealing with some things, but the more those guys are out there as you get late in the season and you can still focus on fundamentals and how we can get better, the better it is for the team and the offense. So it's great when guys like Derek, they need to practice. It certainly helps all these guys. No different than the question that was asked about Darrington. You know, it's certainly helped Corey this season. So it all goes together.
Teron.
Yeah, good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Knowing what you said about how typically if Derek gets going, you guys are going to have a pretty good day. Is it tough to balance? Like, do you find yourself at times saying, okay, yeah, I need to get him involved, but we got to be careful not to use him up too much?
You know, a lot of it's how the game's going, how it's being played. Obviously, last weekend you get in a hole. You know, we turned the ball over, didn't do much to help us as a team in the first half, and then you got to pick up the tempo, and you know you're still able to rush the football, but you know you have to adapt in your game plan, and we've had to do that a few times this year. So that's where you know you say, hey, we'll run as many times as necessary. But overall, if you just look at the history of what we're able to do as a team, when he's running the ball well and he's getting multiple carries, it usually means you got the lead or you're in a pretty good rhythm in the game.
How about in the lead up to the game, like this period of time right now before Sunday? Is that something that you're conscious of, just like trying to manage his carries?
That's again, it's whatever we have to do on Sunday. We got multiple guys. If he has to go out, we feel good about it. It's really how can we run the football and get into our offense more than it is, hey, we're gonna have you know, he's got to get these many carries. We just don't operate that way.
Got you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Drake.
Yeah, I mean, similar to your answer, I think it was 2 questions ago now. I mean, do you feel now that, you know, a lot of times this offense has pretty much the reins on how the game is going, it has control early in the game. Do you feel this season, in comparison to last season, that you're not as hard pressed to probably assert yourself with Derek and not have to kind of force that? You can be a little bit more strategic and possibly even perhaps conservative in terms of when you choose to give him the ball, just because of how AJ's developed his second year, how Corey's developed, and of course, all your other weapons on offense.
Well, I mean, we feel like we got multiple playmakers. And to answer that question, and it felt the same way last year. And every game's a different story. You go back to Oakland last year, I mean, wasn't just hand the ball to them 45 times. I mean, each game, depending on what their game plan is, we know how we want to attack, and then you have to adapt. So it's hard to compare. Just every game's it's a different story. So we certainly have a plan how we want to attack, and then you have to adapt to what's going on.
All right, Coach, we ran through all the questions. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Arthur.
Stay safe.
Thanks, Coach. Take care.